What to do in a dangerous or embarrassing situation. You're falling out of an airplane and you don't have a parachute. Okay, the odds of you being in this situation are obviously very low. Not many people ever find themselves in this situation. But here's the thing. If you watch this video through to the end, the likelihood of you surviving an incident like that goes up dramatically. And I'm going to explain why. Because the number one thing to do, I should say, and the number one reason why this video is useful for this. Don't panic. All right? You got to tell yourself, I'm not going to die. There have been 12 people who have survived a fall from 12,000 feet or more. There could be others, but I could only find 12. And all of them said the same thing. I never thought I was going to die. As I was falling, I wasn't scared. I just figured I would survive. But I didn't think I would die. I don't know why. And they survived. I mean, we don't know what the people who didn't survive thought. Maybe they thought the same thing. But here's the thing. Terminal velocity for a human is 120 miles an hour. You're going to reach that speed in about 7 or 8 seconds of falling. You've got about another minute of falling after that before you hit the ground. You want to slow that down, but even if you don't, you could just die in the air of shock because you panicked, because you got so scared that you went into shock and you're falling through the air at 120 miles an hour. It's hard to breathe when you're in shock. Your whole system starts getting screwed up and you literally can die of fright falling through the air. You hit the ground a dead body. You don't want to be that guy. Don't be that guy. Be the person who goes, hey, this is awesome. What a great view I have. 60 seconds of a view that very few people on the planet ever get to see. Take advantage of it. Okay, first thing you're going to do, don't panic. Second thing you're going to do, position your body. Body positioning is key. Now, there were at least one person who was in a plane that had fallen apart in a combat situation, and part of the plane was nearby, and they grabbed a hold of it. It was like just a big piece of metal, and they grabbed a hold of it and held onto it, and it slowed them down enough that when they hit the ground, they survived. If that's an option for you, take it. But if not, in a great situation, you'd be wearing a dress or a skirt because those can really balloon out and slow you down. But either way, cup your hands, hold yourself out. You want to kind of take a Superman pose so you're horizontal to the earth. Parallel, that is the word, parallel to the earth. Body is horizontal, so you're coming down like this. That's going to slow you down quite a bit versus being like this. And the slower you fall, the better chance you have of surviving when you hit the ground. So 1, don't panic. 2, slow yourself down by creating drag. 3, how do you land? Where do you land? Okay, first of all, ideally you're going to land feet first. There was a person who survived a fall, and they landed in like a swampy area, and they managed to. They're pretty sure the person landed completely flat, spreading out that impact across their whole body. But the truth is, that person was just lucky, because generally you're going to land like this or like this or like this, and part of your body is going to take that full force of impact. And if it's head or even your chest or somewhere up here, like this is the danger zone. All your deadly stuff is pretty much up here. If you land feet first, you are going to mess your legs up bad. You might even lose your legs. There was somebody who had their leg bones pushed up into their abdomen, and they had to surgically remove the person's leg bones from their abdomen, right? But they lived. They were one of the 12. So land feet first, you're much more likely to survive. Where do you land? Okay, now first of all, it is a misconception when you see people in the movies and they're skydiving and they're moving like laterally, like they're not just moving this way, but they're like doing stuff and they're like the ability to move laterally while falling is greatly exaggerated in movies. You will be lucky to get, without a squirrel suit or something like that, you'll be lucky to get a 2 to 3% gradient. Like, so instead of falling like this, you maybe can fall like this. and be slightly off. But you do have some ability to guide yourself. So you're going to look at the ground. What are you looking for? The best spot to land? Are you thinking water? Because it's not water. At 120 miles an hour, you hitting water is pretty much the same as you hitting concrete. That's what physics says. That being said, if I had to choose between falling from 12,000 feet onto concrete or from 12,000 feet into water, I still would pick water. I don't know. Maybe it's as bad as concrete, but if my choice is concrete, I'm still going to go for water. But what you really want is swampy, muddy ground. If you've got that coming up, then your odds of surviving just went up a great deal. Next good target is a tree. Trees, big, bushy. You're coming from the sky, remember. So you're going to see it as a big, bushy thing. Don't forget, there's a very strong, hard, spiky bit right in the middle. And it's not to say that you'll survive a fall through a tree at 120 miles an hour, but the branches will break. Assuming you miss the trunk, the branches are going to break. You're going to come down, and hopefully you'll survive. You're coming in feet first, so just recognize the problems that can come with that. I'm literally saying if you've got testicles, to protect your testicles, because I don't know. I figure if I'm gonna die falling into a tree, I don't want to get hit in the balls by the tree while I'm falling. That's just my personal preference, but that's it. And then finally, when you hit the ground, try to protect your head. I mean, you're much more likely to die if your head gets injured. So you want to go in feet first. You want to kind of cover your head because you're going to hit the ground and you're probably going to crumple. Oh, have your knees bent when you hit the ground so that hopefully you can allow some of that pressure to be put into your legs. You don't want to lock your legs so that those bones really do come up and just kill you. And that's about it. Wow, this was a long video for a circumstance that almost no one has. But honestly, I like making these videos because I know that if you do find yourself in that situation, the odds of surviving increase greatly if you've thought about that situation. And so I share what I think about. And that's how you survive, if you can survive. That's how you would survive falling from a plane 12,000 feet or higher. Obviously, I'm not talking about a plane sitting on the tarmac. That's what I was asked before when I said to somebody, hey, what would you do if you were falling out of an airplane? And their answer was, well, you didn't say how high it was, so I decided the plane was sitting on the ground. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.